Welcome to the session. Welcome to the Value of Creative Tools, a talk with professional creators. Wacom issued or launched Hi-uni DIGITAL for Wacom. So it looks like a Hi-uni, but inside you can find technological or digital pencil. So we were able to break the wall between digital and analog tools. So we will be joined by Mitsubishi pencil to take a closer look at the new products. So first, I'd like to introduce Ms. Yayoi of Sasaki, who is the editor of Kikan S and Small S that features different kinds of interviews of authors and writers. And we have Mr. Mitsuhiro Arita, illustrator. Mr. Arita is known for games and books and animations, including Pokemon card and Final Fantasies. Please welcome two gentlemen. Thank you for your kind introduction. My name is Sasaki. I will be your moderator. Nice to meet you all. So today, I would like to introduce our magazines as well as findings about creative tools and drawing tools that I was able to find in my work. Arita-san. Hi, my name is Arita. I'm an illustrator. Over the past 25 years, I have been doing this job. And with Wacom's tablet, I use Wacom's tablet to draw illustrations and also started to use analog tools as well. Thanks for the opportunity. So based on the questionnaire about creating or drawing tools, I'd like to move on. So we took the survey, and you can see the demography of the respondents. And you can see the breakdown between digital drawing tools and analog tools. 70% of the respondents said that they use both digital and analog. And we also asked what kind of tools that they use for different phases of their work, drafting and clean copy and painting. Those are the three phases. So as you can see, for drafting, mechanical pencil and pencils are most frequently used, followed by smartphone and tablet. And moving on to final copy, ballpoint pen and markers most frequently used, and also LCD tablet and pen tablets are also used. And as for the final finish, color pencil, crayon, markers, water paints are popular tools. And regarding pen, tablet, smartphone, tablets, seems like they are almost frequently used as the others. I think this is a very interesting finding. For drawing, analog tools are more popular, but as for the final copies and finish, it depends, but it seems like digital and analog are equally used. So as I edit some magazines, like Small S, I feel the same popularity in terms of analog and digital. Some are just focusing on either one, but many are using both. And some use analog for drafting, but digital is used for finish. Well, some say that digital is very good because they don't have to mess up the draft with eraser, or analog is used for drafting, and then I use digital to check the color palettes. And some say that digital painting is used, but analog tools are sometimes better according to some authors because they can control the pattern or the grade of colors. Let me give you an example regarding magazine S. So logo was drawn by Yusuke Nakamura, illustrator, who is known for Ajan Kam City Jacket, Yoru wa Mijikashi, Aruke Otome. So Nakamura-san uses a Mili pen for line drawing, but I use digital tools for painting. At Tokyo Dome exhibition gallery, you can see Nakamura-san's works. If you take a closer look at it, you can see that lines are kind of blurred. And at the end of this month, his picture book will be, Nakamura-san's picture book will be published. So anyway, the survey says that many people are using both analog and digital tools, making the best use of features of each. And we also asked what makes digital tools and stationery good. And regarding digital, you don't have to mess up your tables and desks, and it's easy to store and it's easy to use. And some are also saying that you can redo the work again and again. And about analog tools, we asked what makes analog tools better. Well, someone's saying that they can really feel of a pen, and make a unique expression with analog, and some love collecting analog tools. And some say that they can store the tools and it could be one and only tool, easy to feel. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper to draw anything. Okay, now let me continue. Thank you for your patience. So they are able to express their works with both analog and digital tools. And for analog, some are saying the analog tool can be unique and one and only. And with digital tool, some are saying that they can reproduce or redraw again and again. I think that's what makes digital tool unique. So people choose different tools for different occasions. Analog users also use digital tools because, once again, they're able to reproduce or rewrite or rewrote their works with digital tools. So Arita-san, I'd like to ask you a question. So Arita-san, do you use analog and digital tools to work on your works, right? What makes analog and digital special and good? Regarding benefits that people are talking about, well, each tool has strengths, but some are contradictory. If you can't really draw as you like with water paint, color could be blurred, something you didn't expect. Accidental works can be made with analog tools. But in case of digital, you can control everything. And if you don't like your work, you can do it again. So it's easier for you to control as you like. But when it comes to digital, I think it's more productive. So for my work, I can make correction. If I'm asked to make some correction, digital tool, I think, has a benefit. And at the same time, there are some drawbacks. So let's say you put your heart into the work. Sometimes it's difficult to put your heart because you're thinking that you may have to correct. There is a chance that you have to redo your work. So it's difficult to really focus and really concentrate on your work with digital work sometimes. So that's why I use both analog and digital. In my case, I use analog to finish almost my work. And when it comes to digital, I don't really make correction. Well, if I am asked to make correction, I do, but I usually make up my mind not to make some correction. So 70 or 80% of my work is done with analog, and just for the finish or painting, I use digital so that I can really be determined to complete my work. So that's how I use both of them. So sometimes it's better not to be able to redo your work. Yes. So we discussed pro and con of analog and digital tools. So let's move on. Let's talk about pencil, main purpose of using a pencil. So let's take a look at a question as a result. What's the main purpose of using pencil? Well, the most popular answer is draft. And some also say that graffiti, writing diary, animation for work. So it seems like a pretty diversified answers. Next, what makes a pencil attractive? Well, a lot of answers or responses have been provided. It's easy to describe or express different kinds of works by changing power and tilting pencil, and it's warm and it's friendly. Pencils basically exist for any kind of works, and it's easy to feel, it's easy to write, it's easy to realize what I'm talking about, and it's pretty intuitive, and you can enjoy aroma or smell of wood, and you can choose colors and design that you like. And looking at the purpose of drawing, developing works and taking notes, seems like they are pretty diversified. That what makes a pencil attractive.
So some papers said that they're used to using the pencils, but the very first thing that we use is a pencil, starting with the writing letter, but also we can use that for drawing pictures. So much longer time we've been using pencils. And this is about the magazine that I'm publishing. There's another one that's called the small S, that the people can post an app, and the young people are posting a small the app and the articles. Even small children are making a posting, and sometimes these young people will post and draw a picture in black and white. So pencil is something they're most used to and familiar with, and they're using this pencil for drawing pictures. What about the attractiveness of a pencil? What do you think? Well, a pencil can draw anything. That's the attractiveness of a pencil. I think that's the biggest point. You can draw a line, picture, and different from the one that you need ink. The gradation and something in between, you can have a very smooth picture. And if you want to have the gradation, the pencil serves best. So when I first took a look at the tablet of a Wacom, and you can actually draw and paint almost as if I am using a pencil. That's what I was able to do with the Wacom tablet. That was great. It's just the exactly same feeling that I had with the use of a pencil. And of course, there's a countless number of colors that I can choose. And that was the impression that I first encountered at the tablet. And what about the sound? You said something about the sound. Well, when I'm drawing something, I don't really notice, but when I take a look at the motion, someone that when the scene that someone is drawing and using pencil, I hear the good noise that reminds me of something good. So that is also part of the attractiveness by using pencil. And some comic writers say the sound of a pencil and sharpening sound, that's something that makes me feel very good. So you're talking about the attractiveness of a sound that will encourage you to draw the creative things. Yes, thank you. So I asked you about the attractiveness of a pencil. Do you have any special episode or memory about the pencil? Yes, I did receive a lot of the questions about the memories that you may have. I introduced some of them. I sharpened a pencil using a cutter and a knife with my grandpa, and I thought grandpa was a magician because he was so good at sharpening. When I was a small child, I was collecting. I had a great collection of all different sorts of pencils. When I was a elementary school student, I dreamt of a sharpener, the automatic sharpener pencil, but I now use a pencil after all. And I tried to use a pencil as much as possible, and it became very short as 3 centimeters. And when I was very small, I had the habit of biting at the edge of a pencil. So those were some of the reminiscent memories. What about you? Do you have some special memory about a pencil? I was drawing a picture from the very small time that I was a very small child. And when I drew a picture, probably the oldest memory that I have about drawing picture is that I drew something at the margin of a textbook when I was very small. And that time I learned to give the gradation. The good thing about pencil that my parents were very generous about buying the pencils as much as I want. That was something good. And when it comes to other color pencils or paint, you need a little higher skill for management. But pencil, it's so easy to manage. So when I use the tablet at Wacom, I learned that I have a wide variety of the choice about the colors. That was very good. And probably the way that I felt that way is based upon my reminiscent experiences that I used pencil in that way when I was young. So from the very beginning of the time, even before you started to draw a creative art, you were using pencil for a long time, right? Yes, I think I have a little more time left. Well, I would like to keep some time that we can enjoy the creative art of yours. And the summary, we can reconfirm the good points and benefits about both analog as well as digital tool. And depending on how you want to create the art, you can either scan something that was made analog, and maybe you can color using digital, and you can even send out using digital. And some people are also introducing the original drawing, which is on the internet. So even those people who basically use analog, they're starting to use more of the digital tools. So there is no boundary or less boundary between analog and digital. Depending on how and what you want to introduce, these both the analog and digital device will widen what you can create. How about you? How are you going to use both the analog and digital drawing tool? I think there are both good points about both analog and digital. And many people often say, which is better or which is greater, analog or digital? That tend to be rather controversial because some people prefer analog and some people prefer digital. But for me, about the experience of using analog drawing tool, that's something that I want to talk about. Usually, I always keep the sketchbook and the analog or digital drawing tool in my pocket. This is the water palette in my pocket. And when I hold it with the clip like this, and this is the water pen, and even in a train, I can actually draw sketches. This is the water absorbing paper. So actually I can wash my brush. This is the paper that I can even wipe my brush like this. The way I wanted to draw the water paint is because although I use digital a lot, but sketching, it takes only a short period of time. So that really makes me, gives me the sense of a satisfaction that I was able to complete something in a very short period of time. That's why I started out doing the sketching, even a train, or I can actually show you. This is something that I drew in a train. Actually, this person was in the same train. This is another person who was on board with the train on the train with me. Landscape as well. This is when I went to Shirakawa-go. And as I did things like this, I also do this 3D. And because of the tone effect, I was able to match and combine the digital and the sketch, but I can never finish, and it goes almost endlessly. But as I started to draw the paint, the water paint, I started not to do the rework as much as I used to. In digital, it's almost endless, and I can actually confirm actually looking at the color, but the only thing I can do in using the digital analog is that I imagine the kind of the color that is likely to come out. So maybe I felt loose or looser when I was using digital, but when it comes to analog, there's some point that I have to stop doing that because I cannot do it endlessly. And I stopped just doing the rework of the colors endlessly. So after all, I'm sure that this is up to the people, but when you do the tone curve effect, there's some thing that they seem to require the rework, and maybe next day you think different way. And I stopped doing that anymore. And this is another example that I drew when I went to the Great Museum in England and the Museum of Louvre in Paris. I did all the sketching. And these are the ones that I did the highlighting using the pencil and the pen as well. But after I started the sketching, look at the site, when I want to stress at the line, I use this pencil. But if I find the silhouette interesting, I may use pen. And that's how I use a different devices or tools. By using different tools, what I can express would be different. And this is something that I came to notice by using analog tools. So apart from whether I use analog or digital to complete, I think it's worthwhile trying out both. That way, I hope I think that will be the mixture of everything, both technologically as well. I think I ran out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much for the creative drawing tool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This stage is over. Next session will start at 2:45 by Aesthetic Mr. Hirotaka Suzuki and Michio Nomura from the assistant professor of the Graduate School of Kyoto and by Wacom, AI Wacom and Aesthetic. The digital education panel talk will start. Thank you.